All right, looks like we're rolling. My name's Mookie, or Mark, if you prefer, from the independent 88.5 FM here in Southern California. Diana DeMuth is on the other screen, and it is very nice to see you today. How are you?
It is nice to see you too.
And virtually.
Virtually.
And where are you today?
Today, I'm in upstate New York. I was actually in California about 3 weeks ago and drove my van back here when the fires started getting crazy. But yeah, in beautiful upstate New York right now.
What were you doing in California? Were you making your rounds? I know that you can't visit radio stations at the moment, or did you do stuff like that?
We did a little bit. I lived in California for a couple of years, and I still have a place out there, so I go visit frequently if I can. I haven't flown yet. I've been doing a lot of cross-country driving. But my band came out, and we did do some outdoor radio performances kind of on our way back across the country, which was different but very cool.
So you were playing in parking lots or people's front lawns type of thing?
Precisely. Yeah, we were doing a couple of stations invited us in, but we just opted to kind of do everything outside, just to keep everybody safe. And so we did a couple front porches. We did do a couple parking lots at the station. So yeah, it was actually really fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was very cool.
I guess that's, I've heard of, there was another band who just put out a record, and they were very excited to promote their record. But obviously times have changed. So that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to program directors, front porches and parking garages and front lawns and performing for whoever safely at a distance,
Yes. COVID safe performance. If
yes.
You can do it, it's, you should do it because it's fun.
It is fun. People are itching for live music, and I imagine as an artist and a performer, when you finally get up there in front of people, you become reinvigorated.
Yeah, it's been, obviously this has been months now of this craziness. So it is really nice to just be able to, even if it's performing for one person, I'll take it.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Yeah. Just to go and play with the band again. And, even if it's a parking lot, it's better than being at home.
So we've been playing the song Into Your Arms or Into My Arms for a little bit now. It's been several weeks, and we're happy to introduce our listeners to your music. As we tape this interview, it's just a couple of days before the release of your debut record, Misadventure. So I'm sure you're very excited and giddy about that fact. The first time I saw you perform was virtually. And it was part of sort of a music conference. Normally, we all get together in Boulder, Colorado, like-minded radio stations like 88.5 FM for guest speakers and symposiums and discussions and live performances. Well, we tried to figure out how to do it this year, and I believe it was a three-piece, if I'm not mistaken, right? It was you and a couple other musicians, right?
Yeah, I got my trio. Yep, that's how we perform always, whether it's a big show or up there in the room of the cabin. That's my band.
Cool. Well, you knocked it out of the park, and after that, I felt compelled to start playing your music on the air, and it's been great for us. It sounds great. DianaDeMuth.com is the website. People can get the vinyl. There's some content on there, like a few music videos, which are great, which I'll touch on in just a little bit. But originally, you are from where? Originally,
I'm from Massachusetts. And yeah, I grew up there, around in the Boston area. And, it's still one of my favorite places. I've been, one of the silver linings of all of this is I've been able to go back there and, visit with friends and family more often. But yeah, that's where I grew up, and I left when I was, about 17, 18.
Mm-hmm. It's been said that you did do quite a bit of moving around in your formative years.
Yeah. I got a couple hippie parents who are both artists. My dad's a furniture maker, and my mom is a photographer. So we were very, we were an awesome household filled with a lot of art. And my childhood was great. And they neither of them are musicians, but, in the house, they were always playing, James Taylor, Bonnie Raitt, Johnny Cash, kind of Fleetwood Mac, everything of that sort. And that really is kind of what started me on my journey from about 2 years old. I was going to I think my first concert, I was 1 actually, and it was a James Taylor concert. So
Wow, that's
from early on. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a younger sister. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Who's not a music, pretty much the opposite of me in every single way. But yeah, I definitely grew up in a very creative household, which was awesome.
I wanted to ask you what sort of music was just around you while you were growing up. It's been said that you, early on, maybe as a teen, you attended an Avett Brothers show, and that sort of sparked something within you that led you to this trajectory, right?
Yeah, the Avett Brothers show, I want to say 13 or 14. And I think it was at the House of Blues in Boston, I believe. And yeah, that was like, I have a handful of concerts that I went to see when I was young. And the whole time, I was just thinking, this is exactly what I want to be doing. This is what I'm going to do. And that specific show, they're so, awesome live, and it was just so eye-opening. So yeah, that was one of the several moments I had kind of growing up where I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. And then I set my mind to it.
Up until then, had you even picked up an instrument?
Yeah, so around that, I think I started singing and kind of playing guitar. I used playing guitar, that term loosely. I wasn't very good for the first couple of years, but I think I was around 11 when I started kind of figuring out that that's what I wanted to do, and kind of writing my own, my own songs. And yeah, from there I just never stopped.
Yeah, and your video dropped out a little bit. Hey, technology. What are you going to do? There you are. Misadventure, the new record, it's the debut album. I imagine you've been sitting on some of these songs for a very long time.
Yeah, well, yes. So that we had this album done about a year ago. Mm-hmm. The actual songs are, in terms of, the 25 years I've been alive are pretty new. It was all written right. Part of the magic of the album is all of the songs were written right around the same time and became Misadventure. It wasn't like, 2 songs from 10 years ago and so on and so forth. It was all really fresh and new. And I think that affected everything when I went into the studio, because it was also fresh and I was excited about it, because sometimes I have songs obviously from when I was like, 15 that I wrote that I still like, but there is this kind of new energy that you have when something's new and you're really excited about it. So that was all the songs really. Actually, they were all written within that kind of 6 to 8 month period, which is really cool.
It's been getting great write-ups, Rolling Stone and American Songwriter and stuff like that. That's got to be pretty thrilling to see people actually, listening and liking and writing some wonderful things about the album. Would you say it's an autobiographical, sort of a memoir?
Yeah. I mean, I almost fell out of my chair when I saw the Rolling Stone write-up. That was pretty awesome.
Dude, I can't even imagine. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Hell yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so I don't know if can I swear on here or not?
You can.
Okay. But yeah, so it's totally autobiographical. I mean, not, there's a line in a song about me selling cocaine, which is not, I didn't actually sell cocaine. So some of it, there are creative liberties in some of the songs, but the sentiment of all of it and the movement of the record and about kind of leaving home and going out on your own is very autobiographical. Yeah, for sure.
Right. You could tell some of the visuals for some of the music videos that are on your website. It looks like you're on a road trip, even for the Into My Arms record or video. And I try to read between the lines with those visuals. I don't think I could begin to understand exactly what's going on there. But, that's the cool thing about art. Also, there's a video for All the Liars, which serves as, maybe, if I'm not mistaken, you sort of commenting on what's going on in the world, politically and socially, right?
Well, interestingly, Yes, but we wrote that a year ago. So it's, now it feels, I was talking about this earlier today with somebody. Now it feels much more even, more timely. The message of the song and, but that was written about a year ago. And it's always funny when that happens with songs, because I'll write something and like 2 years later, it'll feel very poignant. And I think that was the case with All the Liars, at least to me. And I hope to other people too.
One of the more striking examples of that is the Rolling Stones released a song just a few months ago called Living in a Ghost Town. Mm-hmm. Perfect for all of us who are living in quarantine and under the COVID circumstances. That song was recorded a long time ago and they just now released it, but it's perfect for the times, you never know how a song is going to age, type of thing.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. It felt like the right time to release that song, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah. There's a few more music videos, DianaDeMuth.com. Again, people could buy the merch, although I think there's just the vinyl or the CD available on the website as of now. Yes. Swinging back to the Avett Brothers, Scott Avett actually shows up on a song of yours on the new album as a co-writer and collaborator. That's super
that
cool.
was pretty cool. Yeah. I was obviously so. Last summer when we wrote that, I was so excited, obviously, to be writing with him. The song is called "The Young and the Blind," and it's one of the more up-tempo kind of, stompy songs on the record. And it was a perfect one for him to come in and help us out with. And he obviously did an amazing job. And what a cool thing to say for me.
No, that's super cool. And it's one of those things where, sometimes they say never meet your heroes or whatever, but it sounds like you had a good dynamic.
We did. Yeah. I feel like, there's some of your heroes I feel like you can meet and it's a good experience. And then there's probably 50-50 on that one, but he is amazing and, such a talent, and I can't believe I wrote a song with him.
And you probably felt like you knew him personally before going into that, just because all the time you spent with the music and stuff. I think that's so super cool.
Yeah, totally. It is interesting actually when you think about it like that, because I'd been listening to his music for years and he didn't, had no previous knowledge of me. So it's kind of funny, but we knew pretty much right away that he would be an awesome person to come on and help us with the song. And so it's awesome.
So I saw the Felice Brothers a really long time ago. It was actually at a venue in San Diego. And I remember I was at a different radio station and I saw some sort of cryptic thing on the internet. And it kind of alluded to the fact that Conor Oberst was playing a secret show that night. So on a whim, not knowing it was for sure, I bought a couple of tickets for me and some friends. And we went, and it was a secret Conor Oberst show. And the Felice Brothers were his backing band. Ever since then, pretty cool, right?
I would have paid a lot of money to go to that show.
Dude, it was cool and it was memorable, and the people I came with were just so super stoked. So that was my first introduction to the Avett Brothers, and since then I've kind of been following what they've been doing for a number of years. And you linked up with, or a Felice brother, you linked up with one as a producer. How did that come about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Simon. We let's see. I reached out to Simon. Basically, the short version of the story is I was in London and I started writing two of the songs that are on the album now, Hotel Song, which is out, and Signs, which is going to be out in a few days. And I knew that I needed somebody kind of like to take it a step further, basically. And I wanted to make a record with the right person who would understand the songs and how to bring them to life. And I knew of Simon's work, was a big fan of it, with Jay Bird and Lumineers, Matt Mason, Vance Joy, all of them. And so I reached out to him. And luckily, kind of miraculously, after a couple times, he responded, and we developed a friendship, which has led to, we're working on album 2 now, and we're, work incredibly closely together now. And he is one of the reasons, a huge reason that this record turned out so well.
That's incredible. You talking about album number 2 already, which is cool. So I guess that's something that, maybe a good thing to come out of quarantine is the creative juices are flowing because there's not much else to do. Was that sort of the catalyst, or you were just raring to go, ready to put together another album right off the bat?
Well, as a team, we're working a lot. I think both of us are kind of workaholics.
Yeah.
So we were on to album 2 right after album 1, really was in terms of, we weren't in the studio, but just writing and throwing ideas back and forth. And, I think most artists would agree, once you make something and it's finished, you kind of always, at least I do, always want to go to the next idea. And kind of it's exciting, to create. So I think as people, we're both very, very much like that. And then as far as, the whole pandemic, that's what has been the silver lining, is that I've had time to go start to cut the songs in the studio. Whereas if it hadn't happened, I'd be a tour pretty consistently. So I've had time to be in the studio, which has been awesome.
No kidding. Under normal circumstances, you might be on the road for half of the year or whatever, 150 days out of the year, maybe.
Yeah, it was looking pretty heavy, the calendar before. Yeah.
Were you going to go out with another band, or open for someone, or take someone, under your wing?
All of them were, right now I'm doing, opening acts, and the last show that I played before everything happened was opening for the Lumineers it was in Connecticut. And
that's a big deal.
Oh yeah, it was a huge deal. So I had a couple, so that was, to date, the biggest show I've ever played, and really exciting. And probably 3 weeks after that show was when everything started to shut down. So it was pretty much right up to the line of, the shows that were being played. And so hopefully some more shows with them, and then a couple tours that haven't been announced but are really exciting, and I cannot wait to play live again.
I'm sure you've been there, done that with playing coffee shops or something, or really small venues, and to be up on stage in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, opening up for the Lumineers. I imagine that's sort of a different thing.
Yep, definitely a different thing. I mean, at the end of the day, you're still, it's not in the sense that you're still just, getting up and playing your songs and hoping people connect with them. But it's a heck of a lot scarier than a coffee shop. I've put in, obviously, as many people do, a lot of hours and nights at, bars, cafes, all that. And I think you have to do that to cut your teeth on the songs. You can't just wake up one day and go to an arena and expect it to be awesome. You have to really put in the work. So for sure, I've done that. But it makes it all the sweeter once you do get to a place where you can play for that many people to really, you really appreciate it,
Do you get nervous? I mean, as a DJ, part of the gig is going to events and doing stage announcements and stuff, introducing bands and things like that. I'd much rather have it where I'm just in the recording studio or what radio studio by myself, with no eyeballs on me. Mm-hmm. So are you you just feel comfortable getting in front of people at this point, generally?
Yeah, I think if I were to go play a show tomorrow, I think I would be nervous because I haven't played in a while, especially but once you're on tour and doing it every night, you shake off the nerves after a while. But there was also a tour I did opening for a guy named Glenn Hansard, who is one of our
favorite Irishmen.
Yes. Yeah. So that tour was the first kind of bigger quote unquote tour that I did maybe a year ago or something. And the first show I was very nervous. But then as the tour went on, it was a couple weeks, every night was a little bit easier, and you start to get into a rhythm of it. And then you start, the great thing that happens is once you can get out of the nervous space, you get to actually enjoy being up there. Right.
What was your first gig, you figure?
Oh, first gig. Man, I remember playing at like my middle school for some talent show.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it was all right. There was a lot of like, you know, a lot of coffee shops going on growing up for sure.
Yeah.
And also inspired by Glenn, I loved like busking, and just going out and playing in the street, and nobody cared, but it was still fun. And I think those were like the first couple things I did. And you know, probably wasn't great, but got to start somewhere.
We did a thing with the artist Dermot Kennedy recently, who said some very nice things about Glenn Hansard as well, calling him a mentor, someone who helped him in his early years. And then, you know, look at Dermot Kennedy now. He went on like a sold-out world tour, which is freaking crazy, and he's got like 1 billion streams.
He's not doing too bad.
No, he's not doing too bad. No, we wish him the best. It's been said that you went to college and quickly left college. What school was that? And did you go into it at first thinking that you would study a particular subject or go into a particular field?
Well, I think I went to college because I felt like I was supposed to go to college, which I think is not an uncommon feeling.
Right.
I didn't have any, it was a college in Lewis and Clark in Portland, Oregon. And I went in thinking, I thought I was going to be an English major because I like to write. And then I quickly realized how much harder it was than I thought. Like I kind of thought it would be, I could get away with a lot because I write all the time, but you know, you actually have to put, like everything else, you have to put the work in and study and do well and all that stuff. So when I got to college, I realized that, and I was not ready to, I just didn't want to put my energy towards that. I almost couldn't. I was just bored right away. So I left pretty quickly and started this whole crazy journey.
It's crazy. You're doing great right now. There's certainly a buzz about the new record. There's a buzz about you, and hopefully that'll just continue.
Yeah, man. I think, you know, such a huge part of this is for me is live music. It's really how that's where I feel like I can really excel and what I love and enjoy doing probably the most out of anything. So yeah, I'm just so excited for whenever this is, you know, we're all safe again, and I'm going to hit the road hard with touring, and I can't wait to spread the love that way. Cause you can only do so much via social media, which is very important, but it's a different beast to really get out and be able to play for new people every night. So I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, I imagine when you played and opened up for the Lumineers, you got immediately a lot of new fans. Maybe you saw a boost on socials, or the merch table was doing well that night, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's obviously if you play a show with that many people, you get some fans, which is awesome. And for all of the touring that I did over this past year and a half, I never had any merch really. I didn't have any music, you know, I didn't have a physical vinyl, and I just got the vinyls the other day. So also luckily when I'm going to go back out, I'll have music to give to people, which will be awesome.
Who inspired the vinyl art?
Well, it was originally a picture of me. That was what we were going to do. And then I work with Simon and the Nick Bell, who does he does my videos. He does design kind of everything around this project. And I think he just like emailed us or texted us this photo one day, and we were all kind of like, this is pretty thought provoking, and it's got a little more mystique than just a picture of somebody's face. So we actually ended up feeling like that. Just like it, I feel like it pulls you in, and you're like, what's the story? Like, what, you know, you're in a hotel parking lot and it looks like not the best hotel in the world. And I think it kind of, I hope it draws you in. And that's where Hotel Song, the first song on the record, and the first song I wrote for the record, I was in a crappy hotel in London. So it feels like kind of full circle to have chosen that cover. Yeah.
The visual artists, I mean, it's almost the same like listening to a song. I could have 100 people listen to a particular song, and each one of them could interpret it differently.
Yeah,
Same goes for looking at a photo or a painting or something like that.
sure.
It's incredible how that works. Couple of questions. Thanks for being a good talker, by the way.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get, with artist interviews. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth.
Sometimes people don't want to talk. Yeah.
No, I know. How are you consuming music yourself? Are you streaming, you playing vinyl? Are you listening to the radio? Are you just working on your own music?
Definitely working on a lot of writing in my own music, but streaming, I've done 2 cross country or I guess 4. I've gone across the country and back 2 times now, so I've had a lot of driving time to listen to music, get into some podcasts actually, but streaming, that's kind of the way that I consume music now for sure.
Right. Any artists who are active today that you're digging on?
Active today.
I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of them. I feel like whenever anybody asks me this question, I can never remember a single name.
No, it's putting you on the spot. It's like, oh, you're a radio DJ. Tell me about a cool song, or you're a comedian. Tell me a joke.
Yeah, no. There's let's see, what was that? No, there's a band called I want to say the Wild Reeds, I think, that I've been listening to.
Wild Reeds, they're beloved around here.
Yeah. So I was listening to them a lot. I'm a big fan of a guy it's a UK artist named Sam Fender, who has I think his album's called Hypersonic Missiles, and I was listening to that a lot.
Yeah.
But I jump around a fair amount with like what I listen to. The new Courtney Marie Andrews record I've been listening to. Yeah, stuff like that. Mostly I tend towards like to listen to a genre similar to what I do, just because it's the kind of music I grew up on. But I'll jump around,
Yeah, that's cool. All those artists that you just named are great. Phenomenal. We just did an interview with Courtney Marie Andrews. Sam Fender has been to the radio station in the past. The Wild Reeds, again, are beloved here as locals. And there's even Mackenzie Howe from the band Wild Reeds is doing her own solo stuff. Goes by the name Pet Dress, which is sonically a little bit different, but just as good.
Right. Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anything else to touch on before we kind of wrap it up and go on and do other things?
I don't think so, man. I'm glad that you guys are playing Into My Arms. I appreciate it. That song, that's one of my favorites on the record. And yeah, I'm just excited to have it out in the world, and hopefully we'll meet in person someday when this craziness is over.
Yeah. Was there a conscious effort to say, okay, that's going to be the single? Was it a group effort with record label people and such?
Well, the way our quote unquote system is structured is me and Simon are really, we make the creative decisions. So I'd released 4 singles before this, and this is just the first one I believe that's gone to radio. But yeah, just I think we all felt like something, stompy and a little lighthearted. People could probably use that kind of energy right now. So that's the one we went with first to radio. And but there's
good,
there's
many more. It's a good radio
more
song.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like it gives, it has a little bit of joy in it, which I think is much needed right now.
And it grabs you straight from the get-go,
Yeah, it's got that great, I co-wrote that with a girl named Maddie Diaz, who's awesome. And she played that kind of dirty guitar line that's at the top of the song. And I tried to play it. A couple other people tried to play it when we were in the studio, but she was really the only one with the touch that could make it sound like that. So she played it, and it sounds awesome. Yeah.
That's super cool. Good luck to you. And it's really nice to talk to you.
Yeah,
we're happy to support your stuff, and, we'll be following you along throughout this whole
crazy journey,
this whole ordeal.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
I'm going to end the meeting. And once we publish this, we're going to blow you up on socials. So, we'd appreciate a retweet or something like that.
I can throw you 1,000 retweets.
All right. Appreciate that. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Take care.
All right. Bye.